Hello everybody, thank you for attending today's webinar. My name is Rozhnov Ilia and I'm speaking with you from Singapore. Currently I'm head of brand protection in APAC region. I have started about 6 years ago in Group IB and I was leading Group IB brand protection team for about 3 years. Today's webinar is called Retail Business Against Online Scammers, the battle against illegal brand exploitation. And today we will be speaking mostly about retailers, about supermarket chains and other retailers whose brand is illegally exploited by fraudsters. And I will show you today and demonstrate some of the examples and also the background, so how their network is operating. A few words about Group IB. Group IB was founded 17 years ago in Russia. We have started from investigations, and during the years of work, we have understood that with our technologies, experience, and understanding the cybercrime landscape, we're able not only to investigate the cybercrimes, but also to prevent it. And we have developed quite a bunch of products through the years, which includes not only incident response, but also such products like threat intelligence, threat detection system, secure portal, pen testing, and other quite traditional for cybersecurity industry, and also includes brand protection. For these products and overall our work, we were noted by Interpol, Europol country. We are cooperating with them, and that gives us a lot of vision across the globe, and also we are taking part in the most famous and interesting investigations against cybercrime threat actors. So we're deeply into this cybercrime field, and you may ask currently why here is brand protection, which may look like it stands a little bit aside from traditional cybersecurity. Well, the answer is quite easy. Because brand protection is, first of all, we are working with the same customers which are attacked by cyber criminals, and today it's multi-million business. We understand how it works, and with our technologies, we understood we can do the same, and it goes along with our mission to protect our clients in cyberspace using innovative technologies and services. Brand protection currently consists from 3 divisions. It's anti-piracy, anti-counterfeit, and anti-scam. And today we'll be more concentrated on anti-scam. To be on the same page, let's understand together what exactly is a brand to be talking about the same thing. If you go to the lawyer guys or to other guys from legal industry, they may say you that this is a trademark. But even if we will try to understand what is a trademark, so is it the logo or the word, we will find that the trademark, it can be like much more. It can be not only the picture or the word, it can be 3D, it can be sound mark, motion mark, and even it can smell. There are certain trademarks which have like a smell. And this goes more to brand identity. A brand identity is a name, symbol, or design that identifies the product, service, entity from others, which helps to differentiate it from others. And this is currently a requirement when you're trying to register trademark. A lot of legal entities will ask you to be familiar by the customer. They should know your trademark, your name should be famous, at least in the specific industry. And the value for the company is quite obvious from the one side. You can just say it's obvious because they invest in these millions of dollars. They spend years to creating the solid brand, which creates a certain impression in the minds of customers. Like a brand contributes to the price and the volume of sales. Even for B2B, when you're working with other companies, you can get better terms for tenders and sell price. It helps to hire people and pay less, so you can find better people and they will be motivated to work specifically in your company. It helps to get better terms with suppliers, to establish a relationship with government, regulators, influencers, and media, which also contributes back to your image and impressions to the customer. But this is from the business. And when we are talking about the customer, how does he choose one brand against another? If you will ask some marketing managers or brand managers like why your brand is so special, they will answer us with 100 reasons. They know exactly why their brand is better, why their brand is so specific. But actually, in the minds of customer, it's much easier. Usually, customer has one, maybe two reasons to prefer one brand against another. It may be like he likes the service, he likes the brand color, he likes that this shop is closer to him, and this is specifically complicated tasks for supermarkets and retail chain, because basically they have no its own product. They sell third-party products. They have approximately the same variety of products in their space. The price are approximately the same. So the only thing that client can rely on, it's actually the brand itself. So the client actually will choose the one which he feels better about, and which he has the better brand image. And the brand image is the set of associations attached to the brand identity in the minds of its stakeholders. That's how the brand actually affects users' behavior. Between business and behavior, there is actually the brand. And this brand, from like business point of view, should motivate the people, should help them to make a right decision, and should be contributing to overall sales. We're talking here about differentiation, like the difference that matters, that customers are ready to pay. So because of the strong brand, you can motivate people to pay maybe a little bit more or much more for your product, for your service. And brand, it's not about what customer sees or hears. It's not about really this trademark that we have seen on the previous screen. It's more about emotional bond. And when the customer has the emotional bond with a brand, it's the best. Like it's a recurrent customer, it will bring more and more money to the company, and everybody will be happy in this situation. How this experience is happening for the end user? Like 50 years ago, it was one point, actually the shop where this experience happened. The customer entered the shop, but then he bought something and get out, and then that's all. After this whole interaction was stopped, everything that he felt was inside the shop. But today we have much more touch points with the customer. It's the website, it's advertisement, it's physical store, a mobile application, and maybe outdoor advertisement, and much more. And this all contributes in this experience. Is like the experience happens through a long period of time. It's a cumulative entity. It's actually a living entity, and there are many touch points which creates this experience. And customer experience here is the feelings, the thoughts, and the behavior that are triggered by certain brand related stimuli. And it's all result in the differentiation of your product. What's important here, nothing is neutral when it comes to user experience. It's good or bad, but customer always has its own like rating for some touch points. In more traditional way, you may know this. It looks here like the customer journey looks like a funnel, and there are certain stages of customer journey, starting to aware, consider, prefer, because even at this point he may want to buy this product, but for example he has no money or he has no ability to buy this product. So after this happens buying, and sometimes happen emotional bond. And emotional bond, it's the best, because the role of business, it's not just selling, it's designing and delivering differentiated experience to create and to continue create customers. And customer is always in journey through variety of expectation. There is no value outside of customer experience. And role of organization of business here to guide and to inspire to make the right decision for the customer itself, like to prefer to make the good choice, and the right decision for the business to buy their product. The problem here is that this customer journey can be disrupted, can be destroyed, can be stopped at any moment by fraudsters, by, you know better than me that even inside the organization there are many, like can happen a lot of fails in this customer journey. That's why this funnel is so narrow at the end. But the fraudster can interact with customer at any stages of this funnel. He can advertise his fake website. He can use the reputation of the brand. And actually, the reputation is the main reason why brands, big brands, famous brands, strong brands are so attractive for fraudsters. Because as brands are invested millions of dollars and years to create this strong and positive image, they get their goal. So the customer trusts this brand. And when the customer sees this brand, doesn't matter is it fake advertisement or not, it's like the trigger in their mind. They just trust and they're ready to start this customer journey. They do not check every time, every link, every domain, every advertisement, every account in social network. And the fraudsters just use this trust and disrupt it, like bring it down, and gets to the money which should be brought to the business, but they take it in their pockets instead of business. It all brings to negative experience. Speaking like a little bit about math here, we can say like satisfaction of the customer is expectation minus experience. If we're talking about negative experience, and at the end of the day, it all leads to loss of customers, loss of income, loss of profits, loss of money. So it's all tangible, it's all can be represented and felt by the business in money, in numbers, and calculated. How actually scammers fool your clients on your behalf? Today, the way that brand communicates with customer changed, and also changed the speed of it. A lot of brands are trying to deliver brutally simple message to customer, and customers are really like used to it. They are not afraid of simple promotion, one story in Instagram. They're really ready to click. They believe it's maybe natural, it may be original, maybe it's coming from the brand itself. Here are a few examples. At the left side, you can see Facebook advertisement. It's promoted in Facebook and Instagram, and for the user it's quite hard to understand is this official or not, because you can see here in the left corner the logotype, and the logotype looks quite official, quite accurate. For 60 pixels, at 60 pixels you can't understand does it belong to the official account or the fake one. And that's basically all that the customer can check at this stage. Second way to like check it is to click on this link, bit.ly, and go to the website, but this website is already fraudulent. Scammers own this website, and if the victim clicked on this, if the victim clicks on this link, they have already started their journey. Second is example of SMS, and also, like, from our experience, we know that big brands and companies quite usually use these short link services. Nothing suspicious here. It even looks like it's coming from the official store. Here you can see the brand name, and also there is no much that you can check as the user. What's interesting here, the URL shortener is not the public one. So this is the private URL shortener owned completely by the fraudster, and this URL shortener generates unique link for each user to be more targeted, to provide each user maybe the link to specific supermarket. Maybe sometimes we have even seen links that have pre-filled info about the user, and so the fraudsters have some infrastructure behind this. And the third one is the most interesting because it's spread through WhatsApp, and here you don't see like suspicious account in the social media, you don't see a suspicious link on the URL shortener. You see here almost like you see here official website. And the trick is that if you have a sharp eye, you can see a small dot under the letter D here. And this is not defect of your screen. It's actually non-Latin letter, which leads the customer and victim to completely different domain owned by the customer. And to see this, to understand, well, you are getting this in the rush, in the transport, for example, on your mobile phone, you need to have a sharp eye or super retina screen. Otherwise, you will just miss it. And this is a part of the trick. Like we know we can say, like, if we are sitting in the office and we are expecting to see some suspicious activity, to receive some fraudulent link, we will precisely look at it and we will be not fooled by any of this advertisement. But this happens not in the office when you are away, not when you are sitting relaxed in your chair at home. This happens when you are on transport, when you have lack of mobile coverage, when you have one hand filled with your groceries, second hand with the mobile phone, and you don't have any ability to check any of these links, any of this information. You can have here only two options: click or don't click. And a lot of people choose here to click. What happens next? After this, they land customers on the fake website, which looks like the original one, which use maybe a similar domain name, their brand, their logo, or sometimes they just use the similar color scheme, and that's enough. That's enough to fool the customer, because he already expects to see there some famous, some previously announced name. And this complicates detection for security companies, but still works fine in terms of effectiveness and profits for the fraudsters. These resources can be promoted through different ways. Some of them I have shown to you, but also they can be sent through spam messages to email, use advertisement in the internet. And these ways are quite traditional, except maybe for Instagram and Facebook stories. They are quite a new one, quite hard to detect, because they are targeted for a specific audience, for specific age range, territory. And but we have seen really massive launches of these Facebook and Instagram advertisement. We have seen for 5 million views per each advertisement. And customer journey changes here. This is an example of one of the fraudulent website. You may have seen some templates of these websites. They are actually surveys which asks customer some 3 or 5 questions. Doesn't matter what he asks. At the end, it tells the customer or the visitor that he wants some iPhone or a serious amount of money or some voucher. And we have seen a lot of examples. Here I will show you examples related to the supermarket and retails, and you can see with your eyes like it's the same template. They just changed the name, changed the invitation, but they use different languages. You can see here non-Latin ones. You have seen French, German. We have seen a Russian language here. So it's very widespread and in the same way targeted, because they know their victim. They know what language does the victim understand, and they use the appropriate language. This is a Thailand language. Previous was Korean. This is French, Indonesian. A template may be changing a little bit, but in general it's the same. So it happens all over the world. We have seen this from 2017 actually. At that time, the company and this activity just have started, and it started from using airline companies as a brand. So we are attacking passengers, and they were offering a couple of tickets, like free flights to somewhere. After years, it have evolved a lot, developed, and in 2017 we have seen the first massive wave which were targeting Italian and Spanish speaking users, which were using a lot of local brands, a lot of grocery stores, supermarkets, and at this time we called it Lotsi. We dubbed it Lotsi, and we use this name to identify and differentiate these service lottery scams from others. And for now, we have seen more than 100 different brands used by this activity in a lot of countries. I can show you the geography of this. This again only relates to the supermarket and retail chains. You can see it takes most part of the world. But also we have seen this on airlines, as I told. We have seen this at broadband telecom providers, and for this industry it also takes South and North America, so it's really worldwide and famous. It's just targeted specifically for each user. At the end of the journey, fraudsters ask to pay a couple of dollars, sometimes it's a couple of euros, sometimes it's $3, doesn't matter. And the user thinks like, what's the problem? It's not a big deal, I will pay. The trick is that the data of the user is left to the fraudsters. So user sending his credit card data to the fraudster, and after this they can charge much more and actually steal all the money from his credit card or banking card. So the amount of loss is not $2, it can be going up to hundreds and even more. And it costs the damage. It costs the damage, as I've told, for the customer, which is obvious, but also it happens so that the business itself suffers a lot. First of all, it starts with claim processing. In a lot of cases, it's actually where and when business gets information about this kind of service. So he starts receiving letters or calls from users, because users are fooled. They still believe that this was an official website. They still believe that they have sent money to the original brand, and it was the real lottery. It takes time to talk with these users to understand what happens. Sometimes it's needed to start an investigation to understand what's behind it, what's the volume. Do we need to start prevent this, or it was a one time? Maybe it's one website and this will never happen again, possibly. A lot of companies trying to warn their customers and educate them through media release. There is a lot of fraudulent website. Please be aware. Please pay attention that you are staying on the official website, that we are never requesting any confidential data, etc., etc. And this work also takes many hours. At the end, it leads to bad customer experience. Bad customer experience is such a thing that there is some data, some numbers that is telling that after negative customer experience, 64% of customers will never go back to the same brand. They will just try and prefer another brand because there are a lot of brands at the market, and any of them actually can replace other. And you may say here, like, it's not our problem, it's the customer who was fooled, who was frauded, they are not paying a lot of attention, we have warned them a lot. But the thing is that customer does not understand this. I can show you here an example about, like, imagine you have bought a ticket with the Singapore Airlines, let's say, and everything was great. You arrived at the airport in time, check-in was quick, and there was very nice flight attendants in the cabin. The food was great, you were even able to sleep a little bit during the flight, arrived on time, so everything perfect, but at the end your luggage was lost. And when you will be asked about what's your experience with flying with Singapore Airlines, you will say, like, awful, they have lost my luggage. And even if you understand, like, if you think that maybe it's not the fault of the airline itself, because processing of luggage is very complicated thing. It may be maybe because of the carrier, it may be because of the airport, maybe your bag was too fragile and it just fell apart somewhere in the sky. But it doesn't matter for you. You will have in your mind that Singapore Airlines has lost my luggage. The same thing happens here with any brand. When somebody is fooled, they will just blame the original company, the brand owner, for this negative experience, and it will be hardly stuck in their mind. We can presume here, calculate approximately the fraudster's profit. We estimated that some of these sites had more than 5,000 users per day, unique users, I mean, per site. And even if we will assume that each user is losing about $100, and because that's like we have tested and they have charged us about $100, it leads us to 5,000 USD for just one site. And if we're speaking about these global, about worldwide infrastructure, which includes hundreds of sites, dozens of brands, the numbers are about like millions of dollars, and this makes this part extremely attractive for the fraudsters. Like, very sweet piece of cake here, and this gives them money to develop infrastructure, to attract best minds to work with the same hackers, and basically use the same infrastructure to money laundering, to cash out money that used in traditional hacking. So in a lot of ways, it's the same guys who were just shifted a little bit from traditional phishing or hacking to the scam websites, and maybe now they're having even bigger profits. Let's look at this attack in details from the backside, from the side of their infrastructure, from the side of the fraudsters. So basically, there is a multi-step journey, not the good one, customer journey that we have seen in previous slide, but the bad one. It starts with the traffic attraction. User can go through search engine result. Sometimes they use domain asset services. They use SMS, advertisement, and they're sending user to the link. This link is unique and it has its own role. So at this link in the middle collects all possible information about the user. Its country, its language, its user agent, sometimes its telecommunication operator, his device, his time zone, maybe cookies. And after this, it generates personalized link based on the user's parameters. So for the guy from Greece, it will show some Greek supermarkets on the Greek language. For the guy from Malaysia, it will show the separate one. And the content will be targeted, like the brand will be known by the victim. If the system will fail, it will just show some general brand like iPhone or Chrome or Google, doesn't matter. If we will look deeply at this link, we can see here that it contains a lot of details in it. You can see here the operating system of the victim. Here, he is telecom operator. His IP is coded here. This is actually the type of the survey, some unique key which is generated for each user. And also here we can see the source, like the previous link, which was visited by the user. Why it all was done. One of the problem is that the link works only once and only for the one specific user. Even if you detect this, if you are applying to hosting provider, to the registers, and these are the only guy who can actually take the website down. Even when you are talking to police, to some state agencies, they can limit access to this link possibly, or they, like for total takedown on the domain register, or the hosting provider can take down this website. But to take this down, they need to see, they need to understand why, what's the reason to take this link down. So they need to check. They would like to open this link and would like to see with their own eye that there is some violation of their customer service, of some laws. And after this, only after this, they can switch the server off. Because at the other side, for them stands user, their customer, and of course they care about their customer. They want to provide them the best experience. They do not want to shut down any website by mistake. And you need to explain to this hosting provider, yeah, like yes, this link, it actually works, but not for you. Here is the screenshot. And the response process becomes more difficult, much more difficult. It goes to more resource uptime, more victims on this website, and more profits for the fraudsters. The more people is fooled, the more money he gets. If we will take a look at the infrastructure of the fraudster, you can see here one website, but when we have tried to investigate this in our threat intelligence, we have seen it's not actually one website, it's much more. Let's see the demonstration. You see here there are a lot of websites. Even from the name itself, you can understand and say that they are affiliate, they maybe belong to the same guy, they maybe have the similar content, because they're all in the domain.space, and even the name of the domain itself is very lookalike, like ru up content space here, we contents word here, cont magics here, low contests dot space. Like it's obvious even for the naked eye to understand that the fraudsters has a lot of infrastructure because behind this website, and they are able to regroup to target this. They can evolve through time, and they can create new websites, get new victims to this. But it's actually only one part of the fraudulent scheme. It's only we call it like the white part. Because on this side they have surveys, yes, they collect, they ask some opinions, it doesn't matter, and the people actually trust this website because nothing happens, nothing suspicious. There is no information required to be entered at these websites. But after this survey, the visium is redirected to completely another website, and this where the attack happens. This is already the phishing resource, the fraudulent resource. Maybe the user is offered to download malicious mobile application, and money loss, data loss, and everything happens on a completely different website. So there are two stages here. The thing is, the brand is used only on the left side. So after this, user goes to the phishing resource, to the dark part, and there is no need to show the brand again. The victim already knows why he is here, like and already have some connections, some level of trust, because the victim does not check every link, does not check the browser row after each step. It may be checked at first, like here. After this, they trust and they follow, and goes right to the phishing resource. We call this scheme a rabbit hole because it's like a good allegory to understand this. Like Alice saw a white rabbit and went after the white rabbit into the black hole, and there she like everything. That's where everything bad happens. If we will look at this from the infrastructure side, we will see that both parts of this scheme has a lot of websites. Here I have displayed only one part of this infrastructure, but even this is enough. But if you're trying to shut it down, you may start with a traffic attraction infrastructure, take down one website, second website, third website, but in general, it's all will be alive because the traffic will be redirected through different servers. They will run another advertisement campaign. It all will be alive and leading to the same money stealing infrastructure, and which is still alive. If you will try to take down money stealing infrastructure, first of all, it's more complicated because at the left side you have your brand. You can appeal to it. You can tell the register or hosting provider, like, here is my brand, I'm the brand owner, this is an attack to my customers. At the right side, it's a phishing resource unrelated to any brand, and in this case it's called not a phishing resource, it's just a scam resource, and you will need to spend more time in explanation. Why do this website is related to you? Why do you care? Why does it need to be shut down? You will be required to demonstrate this entire infrastructure, left and right side, to the authority to get this result to take the website down. But even after this, you take one website down, second website down, other parts of the infrastructure is alive, traffic attraction infrastructure is even more alive, they can redirect to others' website. The overall scheme will be like the only way to take down this completely is to shut down immediately their entire infrastructure. To do this, you need to have visibility, you need to have technology. Currently, we can beat this fraudster only with our technology. It's not anymore about Googling and finding some random websites. It's about visibility, it's about complete detection, complete takedown, it's about like teamwork maybe. It requires much more resources and it's challenging for the brand owners to withstand against such attacks. And it results in a good way for them. The traffic is recovered, so the users are following the legal advertisement, they are landed on the official websites, they are paying money to the official entity. And we have seen that for some cases, fraudsters took away about 80% of traffic from the official resource, and they're not only like created this traffic for themselves from nothing. We have seen that the traffic of the original website was also going down. So it was the original users, the original customers who were ready to pay to the brand, to the original company, but instead they sent money to the fraudsters. More visitors means more revenue. It results in more profit for the company, more established trust, and the reputation goes more stable. It's one of the key points. Building with the reputation, it's much more complicated process, and as I've told, as I explained it should not be disrupted. It will result in years from now and above. It's very long-term strategy, which works only for you and allows you to operate in this very complicated now and changing everyday business. It can be its own, it can be a competitive advantage by itself and bring money to you and happiness to your customers. Actually, that's all for this, for my demonstration. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, please. I will be glad to answer. I see the question, so how long does this website exist? It depends. If we're speaking about phishing website, they can be turning on and off even if company does nothing against them. They usually exist for a couple of days, and then next website is created. But in the industry, like with the appropriate brand protection measures, it takes less than 24 hours to take down the phishing website. And if we're speaking about the fraudulent website and the company does not do proper job against them, we have seen examples where this website exists for years and they're still active, they're still attracting users. Mostly the reason of this is because the companies are unaware, because they don't know about the existence. So that's the reason why it may be a good thing to start monitoring and brand protection even before you have some incident, before your customers come to you with information and complaints about money loss, about fraudulent or phishing website. How do you see the fraudsters infrastructure? How do you understand how many websites there are? we use for this threat intelligence, we use some common size like name of the registrant, date of when it was registered, but also some more technical things like SSL certificates, scripts that are run. And there are different factors which allows us to build these graphs. And sometimes when we see one phishing website, we are able to understand the volume, the size of this attack, and advise our customer or our potential customer which measures should he take at this point. Like, is it like one-time attack, or he should immediately activate brand protection, because we see that these guys were working against other brands, and now they have just added another brand in their portfolio, and much more sites will appear. And this is like just the beginning. Are we able to find out which platforms are the most successful to lure victims into the scheme? Social media, SMS, doorway pages, etc. It depends. I think as far as all of these platforms are used by fraudsters, they all are quite effective, and it's more about coverage different parts of people. So, for example, for SMS, they have, let's say, hundreds of thousands numbers. They have covered this part. If they will run social media activity, they will cover other guys and get more victims to their websites. So none of them are non-effective. Even traditional spam through mail is still goes through all the spam filters and is clicked by users. From our pen testing team, I know that about 20% of people in general clicks on the link in the phishing email. So it's quite effective, for I know. Which other industries were affected by these attacks? So I have mentioned supermarkets and retail chains, airlines companies, broadband providers, and this is like the most interesting piece and brands for them, because as they know the IP of victim, they can offer the landing page with specific brand to the victim. Also, we have seen fast food. We have seen some food producers, industry, general one like Samsung, iPhone, Google, or Facebook. But I think much more will come, and we will see much more of these attacks. It seems to be even more efficient than traditional phishing. Okay, I see no more questions. Thank you very much for your today's joining. I hope to see you again at the future webinars. I wish you to stay safe. Wish happiness to you and your customers, and to be profitable for your business. Thank you very much. Goodbye.